Hi, this is Meghan Falcone.
And this is Josh Brenner.
And Seth Brenner.
We're just talking about my haircut.
You've got like this Bradley Cooper thing happening.
Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder, sure.
I mean, that's a compliment.
Tell me something, girl. I think I'm a fan.
No, I don't think any Brenners look like any Coopers.
No, yeah.
In fact, he has to put on a fake nose to look like a Brenner.
That was a great joke.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Meg. I'm gonna give Meg 10 points for liking a joke of mine.
Wow.
Things are off to a great start.
Well, I feel like we're fresh. We're doing.
Well, he's driven. He's driven back to Southern California.
Well, I'm a full-time Southern California.
How's your drive? You drove from Colorado to California, stopped in Vegas, lost a little money.
Yeah, pretty standard stuff. Yeah. It's not bad. It's really a doable drive.
What are you listening to? Beatles all the way?
We got a French podcast. We got the Beatles. What really moves the needle is when you start rocking show tunes. That just,
You just get so fired up listening to some ALW that...
Andrew Lloyd Webber.
I didn't know. Thank you for the clarification.
I mean, you got the toe tapping, so you're tapping away on the gas.
Sure.
You got the hand jazz fingers, all the things.
Ladies and single.
He's officially back now, and we're calling it the Summer of Seth.
Summer of Seth.
Because we really are going to try and find the one. How's hula going?
It's so far been good. Not as many matches as I was hoping for.
Yeah, they're a little choosier.
Well, I'm wondering if I'm a little aged out of that one. It seems like it's a bit of a younger crew.
I mean,
it's
Seth,
possible.
You're aged out of all of it.
You're so wrong on that. That's not even funny.
I was thinking about
It's a little funny.
what Heather said about using it as a tool, but then also using real life. As a tool, it could help you narrow down what you're looking for.
Well, yes.
And then real life, I want to pitch that we take Dr. Becca's advice and Josh and I set you up on a date a week for the Summer of Seth.
You don't know more than 3 single women.
We've got
we have
many
Seth
matches
ups
coming in.
Rolling in.
Listen,
we have so many Seth ups piled up.
Fully amenable to the Seth ups, the Summer of Seth ups.
You're open to it now because you've been closed off to it.
But you have to screen them carefully.
Back to Heather. It was really amazing to watch her just size you up over Zoom in 3 seconds.
Yeah, she saw you. We have something important to talk about in regards to hula.
On this podcast?
Yeah, this is an official podcast correction. Most of the time our corrections come on our Instagram, Southern the City Podcast, or on our TikTok, Southern the City Podcast. But today we're going to issue one on air because you deserve it.
Go. What did I do?
We were wrong about Coffee Meets Bagel.
Oh.
Wait.
What?
Who's the proverbial we?
Josh and I.
Thank you.
Josh and I were wrong.
That
Thank
doesn't
you.
sound right.
So, Coffee Meets Bagel, everyone who's on it got an alert. We are investigating reports that the Coffee Meets Bagel dating app may have used racial information in a discriminatory manner when showing its users potential matches.
Whoa.
You could be due up to $4,000 if they're found guilty.
Wait, so did it explain what sort of racial profiling they would do? They'd only match up certain races with certain races, or?
That's my impression. I don't really know a lot about it because I didn't properly research for this episode. I just wanted to say I'm sorry is the main thing.
Well, I'm very interested because I always thought that this stuff was like the app itself was doing things that we don't like as people. But this is saying like Coffee Meets Bagel is like we did it.
So like their algorithm that they designed
was
designed to be discriminatory. In other words, thanks for the great birthday present last year, guys. That was real thoughtful.
I thought that deserved an on-air apology, Seth.
Okay, I'll take it.
All right, unfortunately, that's minus 10 points for Meghan. Josh gets +5.
Well, while Josh gives himself points, the other piece of business I wanted to address is if you are listening to this podcast and you're enjoying it at all, or if you hate it, I mean, either way, we don't really care. Please subscribe, please follow, please share it with a friend.
Give us a rating if you want.
I was looking at
5 stars would be the preferable one.
We'll take 4 though. I was listening to ways to get your podcast out there because it's so hard in this age and time.
Everybody's got a podcast.
But when you have a better podcast like we do, the way that you get more people to listen is by getting more followers and more reviews.
Me personally, I think we have just the right number of listeners, and I'm happy keeping things where they're at. You guys deserve us, and we deserve you.
I'm with you. All of Mom and Dad's friends, thanks for listening.
All right, so now what happens?
Relationship Corner!
sure. I mean, we don't. Well, I like
Lots
that.
of feedback about people loving the relationship corner jingle.
Yeah, that.
Thanks so much for writing in,
seems
folks.
Seems to be quite the hit.
Okay, this has been in our inbox for a second, and I'm so sorry it's taken us so long to get there. We've had so many guests that we've had fewer times for relationship corners. This comes from Ryan in Temecula.
Hi, Ryan. How are you?
And this is a bit.
He can't respond.
He can't.
All we can do is read his email.
I bet he's saying, hey. He wrote us a really beautiful email that includes a bit of a relationship corner story as well as some advice for you. So, here we go. I have one piece of advice as someone who's been married now for 11 years and
Mazel
together
tov.
with my wife ever since we met at college freshman orientation at age 18. I've noticed that Seth's dates always inherently have an out, and this is his comfort blanket. He doesn't like being set or Seth up because of the potential fallout with the Sether-upper, and he gravitates towards people that he can easily ghost on the apps. This is not the way.
Is there a finger shake in there? Is there a
implied.
finger shake emoji?
It's strongly implied.
As they say, you've got to risk it to get the biscuit.
Who says that?
Ryan from
Ryan.
Temecula.
Oh, okay.
It's a Temecula phrase.
Yeah.
All of the successful long-term relationships I've seen are very integrated into the person's family, friends, career, and or personal life early on. For example, my wife and I shared many friends from the outset, and we met each other's parents very quickly at parents' weekend / when I even had to take her home and sleep on her parents' couch when she got sick after only a few weeks of dating. I know Seth is already shaking his head in disagreement here.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm the one with the 1 million point wife here. That's true. You get 1 million points if you get a wife, and he's already got her. This is an invested listener. So I feel like this is good advice before the Summer of Seth ups. Even my friends who met on the dating apps and are now married very quickly were introduced to each other's friends and family and started spending every day together or even moved in quickly. This is also my main beef with shows like The Bachelor. I love all of his reference points, exclusively Seth in the City and The Bachelor.
Oh, wait, this is interesting, though. Points to Bachelor in Paradise, ironically, being more successful. Maybe that's the show for you, Seth.
I would not turn down an invitation for The Bachelor in
Just
Paradise.
gross.
Like with Seth's approach, in The Bachelor, they're relatively isolated from friends and family and normal daily living, where you can actually get to know someone for who they will be in their normal routine. And not just on an ideal dinner date. This is why you were so shocked when the cool girl had a dirty car and a dirty house and a rat and drank out of the same water. He agrees that was gross. No, this is my first issue with Ryan from Temecula. But that's the kind of thing you would already know if you really knew her beforehand. For example, I married the highly feared archetype of horse girl.
Horse girl?
We talked about this early on. You know, the girl in high school with the long hair and the great posture.
Oh, who rides?
Who rides, yeah. But his horse girl, this was not sprung on me at some later date, as I went with her to the barn and even to some of her competitions within weeks of her knowing her. We are now happily married and own our own small farm with horses.
Wow.
This could be you, Seth.
I'm not really a horse guy.
But
I think it's a metaphor.
metaphor.
So
I
it
see.
doesn't have
Actually,
to be
that's true.
literally.
I do like horses, actually. I love riding.
Well,
But I don't think I could do a ranch. I get bored out there. And I'm also not a morning person.
I don't know if he's hearing.
Okay.
I don't know if he's understanding the message.
This is one of my favorite emails of all time because Ryan concludes by saying, because we all hate when people offer criticisms without solutions, which is one of my number one pet peeves. Ryan says, my strong recommendation is to find activities that can eventually lead to dating, where you would already know people well and are somewhat stuck with that person.
Somewhat stuck with that person.
But I think this
Wow.
Seth,
I don't
think
think that's-
the point is that you are like, it got uncomfortable, so I had an easy bail. He's saying, don't give yourself the easy bail.
Okay, that's fair and respectable.
He says, I know you will see this as risky,
I don't think it's risky.
and that you will resist it with every fiber of your person who brings their own golf clubs to Top Golf Being.
But yes, I will resist it with every fiber of my being.
But this is the way.
This is the way.
Risk the fallout. Know who they are as a person and in a group dynamic prior to trying to fall in love with them in an isolated and curated environment, which will not hold up over time. He has some examples here. You could join a co-ed sports team, an extended friend group with a regular hangout, professional conferences, some sort of extended education program. Do more things where you will be consistently exposed to the same set of top-shelf people with a true shared interest, even if it's a minor one, and you will find someone who triggers your sparkometer to an 11. Trust me. I dare you.
Wow.
I wanted just a round of applause for Ryan from Temecula.
from Temecula.
It was worth the wait.
I love everything he says.
Yeah.
The issue is it's not easy to insert yourself into a social group.
You're great at it.
That's true.
But starting from a new city where I don't know a ton of people.
Perfect time to do it.
So I like sports league.
Yeah.
Co-ed softball, kickball.
Great.
Surfing. Go switch, join a little surf club.
Learn a new skill.
I don't surf, but
That's what I'm saying. Learn how to surf. Oh, your cousin Mark in San Diego had suggested that you volunteer at a dog shelter. That's
Alright.
another
Walk
thing.
dogs.
That's
Yeah,
like
go and walk
easy
the
every
dogs.
week. I bet very female dominant.
You
there.
can just see him getting fired up to change his daily routine. Look at him.
He's rubbing his whole body
He's
like
really
it's a comfort response.
just excited thinking about doing something other than going to the gym and hitting golf balls.
Seth,
Meg.
I think Ryan's got some great advice for you. This has been
Relationship Corner.
Thank you, Ryan.
So, what's going on?
Not much. Just good to be home-ish.
It's really good to have all of your stuff back in our home.
What's amazing, though, is I can fit all of that into my car. My whole life fits into one oversized SUV.
Is it amazing?
Whew. Wow, Meg.
Well, I'm really been, I don't know if you can tell that I've been in the email inbox.
You got more?
I got more.
Eventually, we have to get to the podcast
Well,
part of the podcast.
This is why I was going to say it. We've had multiple people email in and suggest that you work with a matchmaker. And I had forgotten about that until I was going through the email inbox and realized that after your last week's episode, you
Accidentally
met with we had one person who, Amanda, friend of the podcast, who thinks there's something wrong with you, asked if you've ever tried a matchmaker.
Yeah, okay, great.
Rachel sent in an email that said you should meet with Barry at meettomarry.com. Barry would do wonders to change your mindset about marriage because she's going to help you be focused and marriage ready.
Wait, what? Who's my mindset towards marriage?
This is what listener Rachel says. Listener Rachel even suggests we start a GoFundMe to help you pay for Barry.
Okay, I am 100% on board for the GoFundMe for Barry.
But you don't need it. You met a matchmaker anyway.
That's true.
Besides, you got
That's
4K
true.
coming from Coffee Meets Bagel.
Also a valid point.
That's
But
true.
those matchmakers are not cheap.
I know.
They
Wait,
are.
so have you heard from this predatory matchmaker who lies and entraps?
100% yes.
You should at least use her for the professional photos because you could use help in that category.
Yeah, that's not my strength. I know my strengths. I know my
She's
weaknesses.
offering professional photos?
Yeah,
Well,
if
she
she
had-
joins the portfolio.
She had legit like spread. What do they call them? Spreads?
Sure.
Sure. Of her female clients that she showed me.
It's too bad it's not the 80s and we can't go with Seth to make one of those like VHS dating tapes where they're in front of like a blue screen and going like, "Hey, I'm Seth. I'm just looking for someone special."
Should we make one for people looking for? We could get really specific about what you're looking for, and then anyone can resubmit their Sethups, or new Sethups could come in so that it would help us.
0% chance. All right.
Summer of Seth.
Summer of Seth ups.
So what have you heard from the matchmaker creep?
She actually was incredibly professional about this, and she's
Agree to disagree, but
well,
okay.
sure. Her methods of
Procurement.
is not exactly kosher in your eyes. However, it is what it is. This is her building her business.
Digging a hole in the ground, putting some leaves and branches on top of it, and then putting spikes at the bottom.
Sure. So she gave me, I think, 4 or 5 different girls that she thought I would be a good match for.
Did you agree that you would be a good match for them when you saw them?
So she said, tell me which ones you're most interested in. I'll go back to them, and we'll see if we can't set this thing up. Now, there was a preface to this. She said, we're trying to do high-end matchmaking. If you do get set up with one of these girls, if you do go out with one of these girls, don't take her to coffee. Don't take her to drink. We're expecting a true date. Dinner, something nice. What, you're still shaking your head.
Oh my gosh, wait.
Phrase high end is so problematic to me.
Is that going to be this week's episode? Did you go on one of these dates?
Yes, I did.
Joshua!
Why are you so excited?
Why are you so anti?
Weird.
You're way overthinking this. This is a Seth up. This is my first Seth up.
Wow.
Okay. Oh
It's
my
a woman
God.
I've known for days and trust implicitly.
Eesh.
She sent me 4 or 5 girls. There were, I think, 3 that I was like, okay, sure.
Based on what?
This profile that she sent me.
So how does she send it to you? It's online, or it's like she
She-
faxes over a paper?
No, she sent. No, she doesn't have the website up and running yet.
Okay.
But she's got everything digital. So she texted me what she had,
Okay.
And it was a bio, but way more detailed.
Okay.
And then, 10 pictures, but they were all professional. They were all like they'd been in a studio. I guess it looked like that at least.
I'm not going to keep harping on it, but I will say just that alone, I'm starting to be like, am I going to get like robbed or detained, or it's just all
But you're
like
gonna go to a public
you're
place.
not verifying it.
But you're going to a public place in a nice restaurant, and she's insisting on this. You can get catfished at any one of these dating websites. How's this
All
any
right,
different?
Okay, all right, I'm done. Okay, moving on.
So I sent her 3 girls that I thought would be relatively good matches,
All right.
and she goes, "Okay, great. Let me reach out to them." Couple days later, bada bing, bada boom. This girl's interested. I'm setting y'all up.
Okay, and now does she tell you where you have to take her, or you get to suggest some places, or how does it work?
On her on the dating profile, there
Yeah.
were like 7 of this girl's favorite restaurants.
Oh, I love that.
It was really nice. Just try to pick one of these 7, if not something very comparable.
That's so nice that she can have one of her 7 favorite restaurants ruined by going on blind dates at them.
So I was like, that's totally fine. I think this is a great idea. Let's give it a shot, see what happens.
Okay.
So she connects us in a mutual text.
Okay.
And then we start texting, and it felt way better than the apps.
Well,
That's what I was going to ask. Is it better?
It felt way better than the apps.
Do you think because you had to wait?
No, I think
Was it because like, oh, you pick from these and then okay, let me see what I get back. Hey, look, there's a match, and there's like hours or days in between.
I think what it was more like this woman knew us both so well.
I mean, better than the algorithm does. That's
Uh,
fair.
Almost certainly not true, by the way.
I mean, she's actually spent time with Seth.
This felt way more natural and normal than the god awful apps. I will
Okay,
tell you.
well,
I will
that's
tell you.
funny. It's definitely not way more normal.
it's not normal.
Well, the apps are the new normal, right?
He's got to go back to brick and mortar.
brick and mortar yentas.
Matchmaker. Anyways, Barry.
Who's Barry?
The
Meet
matchmaker.
to Mary from
Yeah.
our listener Rachel.
That's from today's episode. You can't be that zoned out.
Yeah, sorry.
She messages both saying, "I'll let you guys take it from here." Text her, start a new thread, just the 2 of us. Really very easy and effortless.
Okay, now in this setup, is the conversation more friendly, or is the conversation like flirty pictures in a bathtub? Like, is there something more grounded about the way you're meeting because you have this third-party person setting you up, or is it straight to like flirtation?
It's not straight to flirtation. It's getting to know you over text much. There's no bathtub girl pics right off the bat. here.
But is there a difference between first few communiques from this versus from the apps?
No, it feels like once you jump from the app to texting,
It's the same thing.
it felt like that was the same thing. It felt like
Okay.
your intentions were to meet to potentially date this person.
Are you more excited? Are you more putting effort into it because it's different than the usual Bumble Hinge?
Great question. The answer is yes. This felt more
You've been swept off your feet by a weird stranger. So
yeah, as opposed to getting swiped off my feet.
look how fast he is.
Wow.
Look at him. He
Somebody's
drives
had their
across the
caffeinated
country.
tea.
No points for swiped off his feet? Come on, that's pretty good.
You're right. 5 points to Meghan.
You're right.
I'll say my first positive thing about this, which is that it's different.
Definitely different.
So different seems to be good. We know that the other thing is not breeding success.
Sure. But it is breeding.
And -5 for Seth.
Yeah. I'm so glad. I thought he was going to take it away from me.
So text for, I don't know, 20 minutes or so back and forth. And I was like, well, we should obviously meet up.
Okay.
Made plans for later in the week.
Okay.
And you offered up one of
One of the
the re-
7.
well, hold on, because are you saying it as though I hear one of your favorite 7 restaurants is, or are you like, oh, top of the dome? How about this restaurant that I know you
No,
like?
she knows. So I, flash back to our text messages with the matchmaker.
Right.
And then as we're kind of going through this, I go to restaurants that I've always wanted to try because, and then see which one I can get a reservation for later in the
Smart.
week.
Oh, okay.
And then finally we settled on a really cool sushi place that she loves, and which is great.
Any other restaurants on her list that you were like, I've been to that, she has good taste?
Republic.
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 So-
You love Republic.
Love Love that place. Ivy was on there, which was not
Okay, wait.
not happening.
Huh.
Republique and Ivy, and you picked the sushi restaurant? Was it the cheapest option?
First of all, sushi is never a cheap option. It was the only one.
By the way, fair though. Like, this is a little bit of a like, oh no, coffee's not acceptable. We want you to burn $350 to meet someone that you're not going to be interested in.
Well, but to Ryan from Temecula's point,
Got a little skin in the game.
yeah, it makes it harder to just bail.
Oh, if you're at a nice dinner, you're not bailing. That's for sure.
Go to dinner at Republique, you know it's going to be 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
You're going to spend
Yep.
a couple hundred. So it's like, okay, I'm going to really try and find things that I can connect with this woman on.
Yep. Correct.
But you're not doing that. You're going to sushi stop.
Let me just get a couple California rolls to go.
Y'all are the worst.
Does the matchmaker check in and say, like, have you guys connected? Have you set a date?
Multiple times.
So she is holding you accountable. She's doing the check-ins that Heather is talking about.
multiple times.
Okay.
Yes, which I didn't love.
weird. Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
a
love
weird.
it.
I
But,
like
weird.
it. I
but
think you need it.
listen again. This woman is trying to create a niche business, and I imagine it's not easy to do.
Well, she certainly has skin in the game because she wants to goose her numbers and go like, I've already had this many successful matches.
Sure, absolutely.
I feel so excited about this because I also think it would be such a meet cute story.
Or like a horror movie.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Okay.
Again, public place. It's not.
John Oliver just did a thing about these scams. They call it like pig slaughter scams. You know when you get those weird texts that are like, thank you, doctor, I'm missing my prescription, right? And you text back like, oh, I think you have the wrong number. And they start preying on lonely people over text, right? And then eventually this leads to some sort of investment opportunity. That eventually leads to somebody being bilked out of like their life savings. And I would be full alarm bells that I'm going to meet this woman who is just
And then you're going to give him your bank account number.
Yeah,
no,
all you
but
have to
that's
do
the
is
whole
not.
thing. It's over months and months, and she's like
Right.
being perfect so that you fall in love with her, and then all of a sudden,
Joshua, he doesn't need any more reasons to be scared of falling in love.
I guess that's true. This can't work on you because you're already so commitment phobic.
Please, let him fall.
All right, I apologize. What's she wearing?
First of all, she is.
What's the restaurant?
Is Sugarfish? Is that what it's called? It's great. It's fun. It's a great atmosphere.
People love
People it.
I was out of town working, and everyone who was out of LA was like, first thing I'm doing when I get back is Sugarfish.
Sushi's actually a great first date.
It's fun.
You get some sake, which is a light, easy drink.
Yeah.
You don't feel horrible. You don't eat a ton and feel terrible. And it's
Yeah.
also a fun environment. Like it's just, why are you laughing?
That's just the things you're excited about. Yeah, you don't have to eat too much, so obviously that's great.
She's wearing a little black dress. She looks beautiful.
Okay.
She
Okay.
looks exactly like her pictures.
Okay, so this is another benefit of having a matchmaker. It's a little. Everyone has to be a little more honest. What did the matchmaker let you put your height as?
It's not where I thought you were going with this. Anyways,
Are you having a lot of trouble not humming Matchmaker while you're on this date?
I did listen to a lot of Fiddler on the Roof when driving over. It's so good.
I mean, you are such a catch. Again, if people have listened to this podcast and know all of this about you and are still like, I think we'd be really compatible, you should be banging down their doors
this
to
is
meet
true.
them.
This is true.
Oh, he listens to Fiddler on his way to a date? I'm still interested. I mean, are you kidding?
Okay,
All right, do we
okay.
hug?
Always a hug.
Is she tall or short?
She's 5'4", 5'5",
Okay.
Okay.
average height.
Uh-huh.
Table's ready,
Perfect.
and it's just easy. She's very sweet. She's very bright.
Uh-huh. What does she do?
She is working part-time as a teaching some level, but she's finishing up her PhD.
Oh, wow. Okay. In what general field?
Biodynamics, something like that. Something
Oh,
incredible.
boy.
Did you do some good listening, Seth?
I couldn't understand it because she's that much smarter than me, that much more educated.
Biodynamics.
Is Sugarfish loud?
It's a little bit loud,
Okay.
but
It's hard to learn about biodynamics in a loud space.
she's I think in the interview process for her first real job as a university professor right now, so she's kind of
Wow, okay.
the matchmaker kind of got this one pretty right here.
Okay.
She's a little younger than me,
So
but
yeah, she got it right.
yeah, nailed it.
How old is she?
30.
Okay.
That's
What?
a lot
What's
younger.
no, it's not.
Yeah. Do professors make a lot of money? Like, would you say that that's a high-end profession?
High end doesn't have to mean income.
Yeah.
High income, high end means high quality. She's very smart.
Yeah,
she's very
definitely
educated.
very high quality.
So
she's high end.
It's not all about the money, Megan.
And again,
Okay.
I just think high end is a terrible term that we're all using. High end has such a connotation.
To me, of being fancy, but to you, of hooking.
Yeah.
Back to the date. Tell us 3 interesting things you learned about her.
Surfs.
Oh.
Big outdoors girl, which I
Oh, this is a
great.
very good match.
diehard Dodger fan.
Okay.
Okay, but that's a fun rivalry.
Baseball's good. Yeah, it's sports.
She does not like the Astros.
Yeah, fair.
But
sure.
was that a fun conversation?
Very bantery.
Okay.
Grew up playing piano through college,
Oh, wow.
and we'll what's
You
happening?
love music. This whole episode has been about your
I mean,
love
if she can play show tunes.
Forget about it. With me belting them out,
of
forget it.
Wait, so this is great.
It's great. It really is great. So
All right, 2 points for the matchmaker.
matchmaker.
It's a pointsy episode.
Date's going really great. We get some food, we get some sake. It's a Thursday night, so there's a pretty good energy.
Does she have class on Friday?
No, she's done for the weekend.
Okay.
And I think I'm off till at least for the next couple of days.
Okay.
So it's really going well. It's really fun.
Do you guys talk about the matchmaker?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, how did she get catfished?
That was one of my first questions.
Uh-huh.
Out of the blue, they were both at the Grove or something like that, and Matchmaker just went up to her and just chatted her up
Wow.
and said, "Listen, I am starting this matchmaking business." Gave her card.
So creepy.
Why is that creepy? You're starting
She's
this
just
business.
stalking people at that's so. She's like, oh wow, look at these hot babes at the Grove. Let
But
me
she's
go.
going up to guys too. Things are going back and forth. Great banter. We did a sake bomb.
Wow. That's fun.
Oh boy, the co-ed back again.
No, we're good. You can totally handle her liquor.
I'm not worried about her.
So we really are vibing. It's going really well.
Uh-huh.
We're there for a couple hours.
Are you thinking this has real potential? Are you thinking this matchmaker has real potential? And if this doesn't work out, I think I'm interested in moving forward with matchmaker. Are you thinking fantasy suites or Hong Kong?
I'm thinking all of the above.
Wow.
Everything is positive.
So
right now.
Sparkometer is
Very high.
Very
Give us a number. I
high.
can't believe we skipped Sparkometer.
4.6, 4.7.
Wow.
Holy Toledo.
It's not late. It's like 10:30-ish.
Okay.
Get the check, heading out,
Okay.
trying to figure out what the next move is. As we're walking out, her ex-boyfriend and a date walk in.
What?
Both of them see each other. Both of them are just like deer in headlights
Oh,
What?
no.
type thing. Just
She didn't. She refused to give up Sugarfish in the breakup.
That's what I was thinking about. How dare he? Wait,
How
had
do
you
you know
talked?
this?
Yeah, had
Yeah.
you talked about an ex?
had not talked about exes at all. They looked at each other. They both kind of did this thing. Awkward hug. He was with the date. Clearly she was with me.
Wow.
We walked out. She's flustered.
You know
Oh,
exactly
no.
what this is right away.
With-
It's so clear.
I can't tell if it's an ex or just maybe some rando or whatever it was, but certainly something.
They had a history.
And they're doing like, hi, ha ha ha.
Yeah, and then there's awkward introductions.
Wow.
Ugh.
Wow.
Okay, and you haven't asked her anything about her past dating, so you don't know if this is like yesterday they broke up or
Right.
what happened.
We've talked about briefly about exes, but nothing. Certainly not most recent exes. Certainly not. How long you've been single, and nothing along those lines.
Okay.
That just didn't come up.
Okay.
We were having too good of a time being happy.
Yeah.
We walk out. She's got a little bit of
a tear in her eye.
little bit of a tear in her
Oh,
eye.
no.
This date's over.
Why is it over? Did you have an instinct to comfort her?
Of
or
course,
talk
I was
to
like,
her?
"Hey, are you all right?" That clearly looked super awkward. She's like, "Yeah, my ex. We only broke up like a month or two ago."
Ooh.
I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry."
The matchmaker saw her crying at the Grove. And she was like, I got her. I got one.
So she's like, "I think I'm gonna call it,"
Oh.
which is
Oh.
totally fine.
Sure.
absolutely totally fine. I wait for her to get her Uber, big hug, but there's gonna be no Hong Kong. There's gonna be no next look venue.
What about I'd love to see you again, or I'll text you, or what is the conversation?
Absolutely. It was like, well, let's do this again. I know this sort of ended weirdly, but let's definitely do this again. She's like, totally,
no.
totally.
Quick sparkometer on the ex. Like, are you feeling threatened by
How
him,
tall
or are
is he?
you like, I've got this in the bag?
No, he's got me in the bag.
Okay.
And what about his date?
I think you know the answer to that question.
Okay.
What happens? When was this? This was just recently? Have you texted or anything?
I didn't have to text her.
Oh,
happened?
the matchmaker.
She calls me the next morning
Lets
Okay.
you down gently.
and said, blank had a great time. Clearly, you know, she recently broke up
Yeah.
Wow.
and she's just not ready to date right now.
Oh wow.
But the matchmaker did the dirty work.
I like that.
And now, how do you think that the date managed to text the matchmaker during the date to have the matchmaker send a random guy and a girl to pretend to be her ex?
She's good.
She's
Real
really
She's
good.
good.
That's an incredible service.
Yeah.
Wait, this is great. The matchmaker makes it impossible to ghost. How do you feel about that?
Oh, not good.
But
No, it's fine.
I think it could be good for you.
It's
No,
totally
but
fine.
he's being ghosted.
He's not being ghosted. There's a ghosting is like you just let it drift. You let it go.
Yeah.
That's
or
not
or
possible.
do the slow fade back. No.
You're not like wondering, waiting. Not like you really do this, but I see how this is a really useful service because
It closes.
it
the
closes
loop.
the loop.
Yeah, it does.
Now, did you feel like nervous that it might reflect poorly on you as a date?
Was she ready to set you up with another person?
More of like a let's keep in touch if something else comes up.
You're getting the slow fade from the matchmaker.
Oh my God, is that what's happening?
How did you leave it?
She didn't leave it anywhere. She was just like,
Oh no.
she was just like, wait, did I just get ghosted? Are you right? She was.
Or
We reached a new low.
did the matchmaker not think that you had a good time on the date and she was feeling embarrassed?
No, matchmaker knows I had a good time on the date.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Seth, did you?
It was a great date. Now she might not have been interested in not wanting to pursue any further.
But you presented as good, fun guy, no question.
This was a great interaction.
And yet the matchmaker appears to be losing interest in you.
Oh, no.
Well, maybe she's just paying it forward because she has been kicked off of Bumble or Hinge for her illicit activities, so now she's booting you from her matchmaking app
Oh,
and just paying it
no.
forward.
You're gonna have to dog walk, join a baseball team, or meet Barry. Meettomarry.com.
All of the above.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Seth.
It's gonna be home.